Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd do a little block experiment trying to make a sphere, but also using structural frame blocks from Reforged Eden only. And if you don't know what those are, that is this group of blocks which offer a lot of angles that you wouldn't normally be able to do with the regular blocks in the game at different angle ratios, basically. So if this works, I might use this shape for something else. I'm not what I'm building here, but just kind of I wanted to see what would happen. It's been a long time now. I've built spheres out of blocks, out of regular blocks in the past, and just to kind of get the block knowledge up there and know kind of what you can and cannot do. But I thought I would just try it with structural frame blocks to try to come up with the smoothest sphere of the largest size that I could actually make with what is available at this point. So, yeah, let's try this out. So what I'm going to do here is going to be a combination of regular blocks and structural frame blocks. Not exactly sure which ratio I should do this quite at yet, and we'll see here. But do a little trial and error, see what happens. First thing I did want to do though is set up a symmetry line, at least a basic one here. And I'm just going to work on, let's just say we go out to this side here, and we'll say this is going to be the top of the sphere. And so what I'm going to use for this is standard blocks. I want to just make sure the ratios are right. So let's say we're coming up at this angle here, and some of these I'm going to extend out like at least 2 blocks, like this over here. And we're going to put some more blocks there, and then I think the smallest denominator I could do for the edge would be this thin block going here across the top. And we'll just keep the top a flat block there. So right now the curve is all right. Let's start getting into some of these structural frame blocks. And I might have some things, actually, I already got a mistake here. This here is not the best angle I can do. Actually, I would go over to this block, which is kind of the default one here, so that changes your angle ratio a little bit more to a 3:1 versus a 2:1 or whatnot. Probably easier than saying the actual degrees. It would be like 22.5, and this one actually is lower than that by a third, so it's a little bit different. But the idea of this is maybe I kind of I'm debating on some kind of sphere style build, or I've been actually kind of thinking about trying to build another Star Trek ship or Star Trek like ship, and I kind of wanted to see if I could use structural frame blocks in the build to enhance especially the saucer section of the ship, and that's usually where you're going to have the worst time with because of the angles on the blocks. So I just thought this would be kind of a fun experiment to see what could be done, how big could it be, and could you stretch it out where it doesn't look so bad if you needed the saucer bigger, which probably would. So, all right, so over here we've got one angle. I believe this would be the closest next angle, and then this one. And I think at this point, though, the only thing I can really put in here is a 45, which is going to be a little choppy there, but there's not I don't think there's anything in between these two angles. I'm going to extend this for 2 blocks, so on this one. Whoops. And is that it? Is that the best angle that can be done? Now I'm also going to try to wrap all this around with angled blocks to it, so it's not just this kind of cross cut of it. It's just, this is going to be the form, and then I'm going to try to use all these kinds of blocks and whatnot to make the rest of it. I just wanted to see what the best that can be done is with the blocks available. So I think this here is now there's one other option that could be done here actually, and I'm going to try to investigate that. However, I know I cannot use wedge blocks to make it angled correctly, but if we were to take let's see, where are these blocks? I thought they were there, I guess not. So not that one, but just like that one. Okay, there's this one here, so we could technically put this in like that, and then reverse this one around the other way. Oops. Again, like that, and then use a small block here, which kind of changes that angle just a little bit more, a little bit smoother around the edge. Again, though, the big problem is there's going to be no wedge blocks that are going to align to this one. But just to see how smooth of an angle you can do, I think that would be a better block setup to try. And then let's see, from here, I'm just going to kind of wrap this down, and we're going to put in another structural frame block here, like that. And let's see, and then we got 3 more that we're going to have in this area. Probably get rid of that. And then these really thin blocks here to make that a little bit better. I'm going to use a lot of copy and paste to actually trying to build the whole sphere. But right now, okay, so now just it's nice to take a step back to see how this angle is working out. If this was mirrored to the other side, it should be even on all directions. Okay, so now let's try to take this a step further and add the first layer on the sides here. So what can be done here? So we're going to go again to structural frame blocks and see what can fit. Again, I know I'm going to have a little gap here because I know nothing will work to line up to the edges properly there. But let's see, what block would we need for this piece here? I think this one. So this is a, yeah, see that's the problem I was trying to say was going to happen because of that. But it's not the end of the world. I can also get rid of that little block change there. So we're going to try to go with that block there. Do we have a solution for this block here? That is another question. I might have to change the overall dimensions of this a little bit as this is being done as well. Let's see, that is, one of these is for one side, the other is for the other side. There we go. So we're going to try this one here. I think that's the smoothest angle I can pull off at that. And then we're going to go up to this one and do similar. I'm not sure if this is the one I'm looking for, but I think it is. Alright, and let's try to plug in the side ones here too. Just thought this was kind of fun. I think about a lot of weird things like this sometimes. You know, I just like sit there watching something on TV or something, and my mind goes and it's like, hey, I wonder how big of a sphere I can make, and weird stuff like that. So yeah, this is kind of what it is. I just thought I would have a little fun with Empyrion on its, in my opinion, its absolute best quality of the game is actually being able to mess around with the voxels and things like that, or the voxel blocks, and see what you can kind of come up with. And there's just a lot of different variants and combinations and things. And it's kind of fun to just try to push it, see what you can come up with sometimes. So this is the wrong one I've got here. So I got it. I'm not near as familiar with these structural frame blocks as I am with the standard Empyrion blocks. Use these far less, but what's going on here? Why? Oh, my rotation is not right. So I think that would be the smoothest angle I could do there. Although I think I already got a bit of a flaw, and I think this should be probably 3 blocks wide at this point, and not just what it is now. But we can stretch it out later. Not a big deal. The copy and paste tools in the game are actually pretty good right now. So fairly, I wish it did have a option to do mirroring though, so you could like take a right-sided piece and turn it into a left-sided piece kind of thing. That is one feature it does not have. Yeah, these little side curves here is where I'm going to have issues with, because I don't think there's any of these blocks that are going to work with that. So I'm going to get these little edges trying to be as smooth as possible on the outer side. Let's see, what block do I need here? This would be a 3:1 ratio. This is not the right block for that, is it? don't believe so, no. That is too big, so we got to go to maybe one of these. Either the right side or left side version of it. Let's see, I think that's it right there. Yeah. Alright, so this one I think would be, not sure. This one? No. It's got to be the inverse of that one. This one? No. This one? Nope. I know it exists, so I know one of these blocks is the right one. It's just the picture doesn't necessarily show it quite right. No, that's not it. Which one is it? I've done this before, so with the Poseidon build, I believe. But it's the icon didn't like jive very well for it. It's not that. Maybe it's all the way to the edge. Nope, those are the 2s. This one, it's got to be, no. Uh-oh. Oh, come on, I know this block exists. It's just like that one, but only one. 1 by 3 by 1. No. Ah, there it is. See, it looks like that, which, yeah, I guess you got to look at the label on it. It looks like it's going to be a little different shape than what actually came to be there. So it's that one. All right. That wasn't so bad once you have to memorize that a little bit better there. And let's see. Not that one. As you can tell, I have not done this before, so hence the experiment. So yeah, it's getting kind of smooth, Okay, so let's see, what can we do over here? That would be one of these 3 by 3 ones. So like this one, I think. Yeah, I should look at the labels. I think are a little bit better than the pictures in this case. Well, pretty curvy. Not too bad. Kind of. The whole point is to try to make this not look like it's built with voxels in the end. Is my main goal here. All right, so now we've got a ratio of 3 to 1 on this row. So we're going to go to a 2 to 1 on this row, which I can go back to standard blocks here. So we'll hop into this wedge set here and do 2 rows. Now, I always do these in pairs of 2 typically, as it's not going to come out if you just try to do one of these. You got to kind of carry it on through to the whole way. And then this over here would be a different wedge set in standard blocks. So we would kind of want to put in this alternative set here, like that, and that, and yeah, right like there. Okay, so this one here is going to be this block. And I just got to repeat this a little bit more. Again, a lot of copy and pasting will be done, so I'm not going to like do the bottom side of the same way at all. I'll just copy it a little quicker, quite a bit quicker actually. All right, so I've got that little chunk in place. Let's try to hit this one up. This one's pretty much the same blocks I just used, just rotated differently here. There we go. Let's get it like that and switch to this block and that one there. And yes, I know I can hit that other key actually, and grab the block again, but then I would have to re-rotate it anyway. If you even follow what I just said there, I'm not even sure I did. So all right, another chunk. All right, so this one here is at a 3 to 1 ratio, so it has to maintain that, but a 2 to 1 ratio on this side. So back into the structural frame blocks. Let's try to find the right block for the use here. I think it exists. I think it might be this one here. Not cool. Yeah, actually that is it right there. And then we got to get the inverse of that in place, which is probably going to be this one. And there we go. Alright, I probably ought to fill in this lower section here too. This will be part that gets copied. So this is a 3:2 again ratio. And that'll be them two. I'm just kind of curious. See, you know, it's maybe some interesting things could be made of this. Now, some of these blocks don't have a right and left, and that is one thing I discovered with working with the little bit that I have with structural frame blocks. Is like it will work though. Like this block here, if you look at it, it's the right block I need for this part, but it's rotated the other way. So the only way I found to overcome that is, in fact, have symmetry on. I'll go to this side, place this block here, and then it will put the actual inverted one in on this side. But I can't manually place that inverted block on this side. Just something to know when you're dealing with structural frame blocks, which I do think are very cool, by the way. I mean, I'm glad they're in the game. Just gives you, you know, all the builders more options on things that you could do. I'm not saying it's necessarily a good idea to do it, but things that you could do. Alright, so far, besides this little gap there that I try to smooth out the outer edges, everything else is pretty much in check to building the sphere, but I got to just keep on pulling it each row at a time here. So now we went from a 3-2 to a 2-2. Now we're going to do a, it's got to be a standard block here again to fill in that edge here. And I think I'd want to go to this block here to change that angle ratio again, and let's put them on this side as well, and then fill in the two with the other wedge set again, which is this one here, like that, and these on both sides, and I'll just put in a solid there for now. I'm kind of looking at, yeah, I guess we're okay so far. I think that is following the best angles that we can do yet so far. Okay, and that would be like that, and then the inverted one, which is actually right next to it right there. And let's just fill that in on the bottom side here again. Yeah, I don't know. I just fun to play with what you can do in this game here. Okay, so now we went to this angle edge here. I'm a little worried about the corners here. We kind of obviously are going from a 22.5 to a 45 degree right at this here, and I'm wondering if that can be done any better than that. Or if I got this right or not. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Let's, obviously here we're going to have to use another structural frame block, so let's put that in place first, and then see how things line up to it. So we got that. Here, I'll dunk in another one here, like that, and then let's try to come up with a solution to make all this work here. I think to start with, I have to go back to maybe. Oh, hold on. I wanna look, see what's going on here. We've got some two blocks like this one. Oh, then all this actually goes to a thin. Oh, that's actually a little bit different ratio yet, isn't it? Not the one I'm looking for here. So yeah, this is going to be done with regular blocks, but that is good to know. I didn't think about that one when I was doing this so far. Alright, so I guess we'll just repeat what we had on the last row on this row as well. Come up to that angle, and then we'll have to plug in some more structural frame blocks here. which would be a 2 to 3, something like this one must be. Right there, and then we want to put one in on the top, which is going to be inverted, so I will have to go to this side in symmetry to place it. Okay. Just want to take a good look at the overall shape of it right now and see if I'm bending it a little bit too much in one place or the other. Again, we can kind of stretch this out later on too. So, all right, so I think here the only option is going to be that block, and I'm fearing a breakdown, like something's not going to work out here sooner or later, but I don't know if that's true or not. So far, it looks like it's sort of working. This might be a little bit more of an oval than a sphere, though. Okay, so now we need a 3-3, I think, like this one. And then we'll probably just follow that through with a 3-3 wedge, like that. Okay. I'm not worried about filling in the center part. That's going to work out pretty good. And I think we made it to the kind of the center point here. Alright, well, I guess I will fill these in now, because, and then we'll do a little copying and pasting and see how this looks in the end. And then basically the experiment was, what is the maximum size smooth sphere, or the smoothest possible sphere you could make in the game using all options, basically. And that's the whole point of this experiment. And that's all it is an experiment right now. But it's nice to I don't know, kind of know what you can do in the game. And I shouldn't be using these blocks. I should be using standard blocks right here. What am I thinking here? So let's go with that. And of course I'd like to bevel this out and make it a not so smooth in the center, but I don't think I have any other options right here. I think this is as far as it can go. Then we're going to get back into structural frame blocks for this piece here. Alright, okay, now I'm kind of back to the one point where I think this is going to be a little more oval than a sphere, because I got 3 center blocks here and only 1 center block here. So what I'm going to want to do is, yeah, okay, let's do some copy and pasting. So let me turn off symmetry, get to selection, and I'm going to kind of almost copy everything that's seen here. Let me clear my cursor first, and let's select this whole thing, or most of it. And get it all the way down to there, I guess, for now. Looks like the box is good, and I copied the center line on purpose because I'm going to offset that by another space to form that 3-block center. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it, and then click on the center thing a few times now actually, and then rotate it 90 degrees, or 180 degrees, and put it back on the other side here. I think I'm misaligned. Yes. That. Okay, so I think that should make a better sphere that way. And we'll paste that in place for now. And let's do, you know what, I don't even feel like filling in these blocks. With manual blocks, we'll just do another copy paste here a minute. Since it's all the same, isn't it? Yeah, clear the cursor. Get there. Coming out here, a little off, probably doesn't matter in this case, but, and we'll do copy, paste, and I'll just move that over one more, and there we go. All right, so that's the top part of the sphere. Again, this area right here, this is the problematic area. If I try to do these thin blocks, I don't think there's any solutions for this. Now there are, obviously, the 45-degree thin block angle like this piece here, but I can't make that really mesh with anything else, as far as I know. Then again, that's the whole experiment, trying to figure out what you can get away with. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to match this angle and match a 3-to-1 ratio on that side, unless there was some kind of structural frame block that would work with that at a thin block level, and I don't believe there is. So, okay, so that it would be our maximum one side of the sphere. I should have built this thing a little higher off the ground. In the center here, to keep everything going, we would actually want to have, again, 3 blocks in the center, I think. So let's just measure that out real quick on one side, at least. Like that. And then this is going to be a disaster, isn't it? Here, I'm gonna do a little something here. I'm going to copy this whole creation and move it higher in the air. So I can work on it a little bit better on the bottom side here. So let's move this like that. Now, just keep in mind, with the structural frame blocks, there is a big side effect to them. One, well, a couple of them. One, you can't use them in vanilla. They don't exist. So if you try to make a creation for vanilla, all these blocks will just not show up on the creation. Number 2 is you can't properly color or texture them. In fact, I can't really texture these at all. Any texture I try to put on there will just come out the same. And the colors, whatever custom colors you might have in your color palette, if you use those, will not show that color on the actual creation. In fact, you can color them, but it will only use the default color palette. Even if you replace one of the colors that it's using, it won't come through. So there are some side effects to these blocks. Alright, so the idea here is I want to get this further off the ground. So what I'm going to first do is try to hit the right button first. And we'll just do a copy, and then I'm going to paste it. I'm going to just move this right up in the air over here somewhere. And we'll paste it there. And then I will, I'll just hit copy again to make sure it's the same. I'll paste it again. Then we're going to flip this upside down. Like that. And we will lower that down and realign it again. And I don't care if I screw up the lower sphere there. Okay, so we just want to keep the 3 block angle in here, and I am off. This is off. Yes, it is. Okay. 3 block center. I must have, oh, I screwed up. I'm missing a chunk of blocks over there. Oh, that's what I get for being careless. I tell you, every time I didn't specifically look and just assumed it's wrong. Okay, so we'll paste this in here and then we'll fix it. Fixing it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. A couple more structural frame blocks. In fact, I'm going to try this other button here to see if I can steal that one. And it does work just fine on those blocks too. That's good to know. And let's steal that one. And how I'm doing that, I'm holding down Control and I'm right-clicking, and it will basically set whatever block you're looking at to your active block. Something I recently learned that was brought up in comments myself. I actually didn't know that for a very, very long time. All right, so I got to fix this side too then. So let's fix that one. And grab that one. And this, yeah, this method definitely can be faster in a lot of different circumstances if you're grabbing blocks that already are there. Let's fill in the center here. I'm going to have a little fun with the center, though. I'm going to try to indent it in the middle just for the heck of it, because I think it could look cool that way. Let's see, how are we going to do that, though? Oh, yeah, with the angle ratios here, I don't think I could actually indent it in the middle. I could try. Here, I'll tell you what, I'll just fill it in normal like now, and then take a look at what can be done in the center of this, if even want to. It's not part of the experiment, though. The experiment really was about how big of a fairly smooth sphere can you make in the game, keeping all the angles constantly changing. All right, so now we're here. We're going to need some a little bit more structural frame blocks in the center here. Get to here, and I think there's, oh no, actually no, this is just a 2-to-1 ratio. No, that's 3-to-1. Okay, so this is the right block. So actually we just need those. I probably ought to turn symmetry back on. I will right after I place these three here. And we got to do the same thing over here. You can't drag these structural frame blocks the same as you can the regular blocks. So that's something I've kind of figured out too. You can only kind of place one at a time. They are different though, but it's really cool that the Reforged Eden developers have done this. I mean, it's a pretty neat idea. I'd love to see like these actual blocks in the game, in the main game. Of course, corrected so you could texture and color them any way you want. That would be a really wonderful thing, I think, too. Really allow people to do more and more things with Empyrion here, with shaping at least. Okay, guess I'm gonna need a little bit more of these. In this case, I could have probably turned on 4-way symmetry, actually, and had a little bit easier time with it. But it's not too bad. Oh, I'm missing some big areas here. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and the rest of these are going to go back to normal blocks again. Just put in the center pieces. These you can kind of drag up as you're doing it. So I kind of, you know, if you're going to take a shape to try to figure out all the different angles, I think a sphere would pretty much cover every angle. So it's at least in my thinking, it's the best shape to try to do if you're going to really experiment with something like this, because it's going to do every single angle there is. Get rid of some of this junk down here. That is, you know, again, the great thing about this game, it really does have a very nice voxel placing editor to it. That is, I mean, I complain about a lot of things in the game, but this is the one part that I think is really done quite well. Is the method. I've seen some other games, one particular game that I do like a lot too, but the voxel placement I think is really bad compared to Empyrion, and that is 7 Days to Die. They got a lot of blocks, a lot of stuff you can do, but it's so time consuming and annoying to try to do it if you're used to this game first. Like if you never experienced Empyrion on how it could be done better here, you won't maybe know any difference, but yeah, that's the one thing. So you know what I'm going to do, because this isn't going to work anyway. I can't use these thin blocks on this successfully. So we're going to have to kind of get rid of those. There's just no way to line it up. If it was a 2D round piece, then that would enhance your curve a little bit. I've seen some authors do that, like Crazy Z, for instance. He goes for some pretty big curves and things like that. But if you take it and you have them all beveled angles like that, it's going to come out. You just can't pull it off. Basically, like there's nothing to line up this to the rest of it there. Let's see. So is that pretty much solid smooth? So let's just do a mass painting here. How about flat and white, and we'll just paint the whole thing. And there is the experiment. I believe. Let's do some measurements on this. What this is the I think the smoothest, largest sphere that I could make. That's of course you can make it larger by extending every one of these out more. But if you're changing the angle every iteration around the sphere, I think this is the tightest it can be currently using all blocks available. So, which is a big difference actually. If you look at this versus I did a sphere a while back in kind of a block tutorial, just with the standard blocks, not with the Reforged Eden structural frame blocks in the mix, and the sphere was a whole lot smaller than what this one is. So, yeah, if you ever wanted to know, that's I think this is the answer I was looking for. This is the size sphere you could make if it was every surface angle was curved as much as you can that lines up to the adjacent blocks. Again, you could smooth off the edges a little bit more by going to thin blocks. You just can't match those to the edge blocks. So there is the ratio, and let's see how many. Let's look at some numbers here. Let's do a little painting on this for a second here. So this is our center point. So we got that'd be 1 block, 3. Oops, that is 3. Oh, that's gonna be hard to figure out. See, when you do paint these, like if I wanted to put on, let's say I go to a custom color here. Let me configure the palette. We'll just say that this color here, we're gonna make something different. Let's say we make this whatever color here. How about something that looks different than is already there? So I've got this weird kind of faded greenish bluish color here. If I try to paint this with that, oh, whoa, wait a minute, I think false positive. I think the existing color down there was that. This is not that color. Hold on, I got really excited thinking it actually did work, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Let's do a better experiment. Let's go to the color next to it, and this is currently blue, and I'm going to change it to the other end of the spectrum here in colors, so we definitely know it was supposed to be blue, and now it's going to be this really intense yellow here. And if I paint that with that, it will be blue. Okay, so it still stands true on what I said earlier. You cannot use custom colors painting this. I got a little excited there for a minute. I was like, oh, really? You can paint them custom colors? That would be great. You also cannot texture these. So if I pick like this texture or whatever, it will not do it. So whatever you're going to use has to be smooth and using the default color palette. But I mean, the options and things that you could do with this is pretty cool. There's one other little experiment I wanted to do here as well. Let me and I wanted to see what it would look like doing some inverted like angled beams with structural frame blocks. Hard to explain what I'm talking about. I guess I'll just have to do it, and then you'll see. So what I wanted to do is let's say we I got to figure out which ratio. Let's do a 3-to-3 ratio on these. No, that's a little too common. Let's do something a little more obscure. How about a 2-to-3 ratio? So say we put one here, and I'm going to just kind of I'm going to get rid of some of these center ones here, but just kind of line up a pattern of a few blocks going like this for a minute. A little hard to place these. You can't quite place them the same as the regular blocks, but it's not too bad. And we'll go up one more, I guess. And then I'll get rid of those. And we'll put in the counterpart piece. See, this is where I'm going to screw myself up because I don't have symmetry on. Because I don't have symmetry on, I literally cannot put the block in the right place. Oh, I do have symmetry on, just not for this creation. That's going to be a little bit problematic. So let's try to come up with a solution for that. Let's set up a new symmetry line here, but I did this at a different angle as well. So we got it going right down the center. That's not going to work out. Let's move that offset to, how about there? Okay, this is gonna be a bit of a nightmare because I didn't have symmetry on, but I think this could fix it. Let me first put back in one of these. Oh, I can't even do that, can I? Alright, so I think what would have to happen is I literally have to go through here and replace all the existing blocks. My symmetry angle's in a stupid spot now. Alright, I screwed this one up. Just try to figure out how to fix it. I think my best fix is just to start over on this. In this case, it's almost nothing there left anyway. So we gotta adjust this in center point. Let's try this again, but I'm gonna go off to one side or the other with it. And now we're gonna get the inverse block on the other side, which is kind of needed for this. And what I'm going to do in this position, actually, I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Sorry about that. And put that in. I just wanted to make a neat looking smooth column that is angled and goes up at kind of a weird ratio of a 3:2 ratio. And this side we'll have to do on the inverse side. Let's just, we'll just stop it there. Something looks really wrong right here. Oh, I'm just missing the bottom block is all. Okay. No, something is really weird there. That shouldn't be there. That's what it is. Okay. There. So if you want to do some weird framework, this is kind of a neat thing to do too. I tend to do this kind of weird thing even with the regular blocks where you take one angle and then you like reverse it on the other side to make kind of a, I don't know, like a frame looking piece or something like that. I guess something on those lines. Less important though. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of see if that could be done too. I was pretty sure it could be done like it is. So not too impressive there, but just some of the other options you can do with things. But on this over here, I think this could be kind of neat, being able to do a sphere that size. Now this isn't going to cut it if I wanted to do a new Star Trek ship, and I've been thinking a little bit about that. It's been a while. I did the Proxima a long time ago. At the time when I completed that, I said I did want to do another one at some point in time in the future. And I'm kind of trying to see what I can maybe pull off with the shaping on it. But here's the big problem. If this was the total size of the saucer on a Star Trek ship, this would be dinky. It would be way, way too small. So it would have to be a lot larger than this, so therefore the angles could not be as good either. One other little thing I want to do just to see, make a little geometry art thingy is I'm going to do a little slicing with this with some copying and pasting again. And I wanted to take areas of it and shift it around a little bit for the heck of it, because kind of fun. I actually do enjoy experimenting with these kinds of things. It's a good way to learn the blocks, I think, too. Good way to know which. It's nice to know before you start a build. Obviously, if you've been building for a while and you already have the block knowledge, but it's really nice to know what you can get, what you can pull off before you're actually building something. Excuse me. So, let's God, is that even the copyright? I think it will. Actually, I want to copy the whole top to there. And let's do a copy and paste. I don't think this part's going to work out. No. I was trying to see if I could separate this more and maybe extend out the sphere in this manner, and I don't think so. I think this would fail. I'd have to kind of rebuild it at a bigger scaling to start with. And obviously, I'm talking about a saucer, not a sphere anyway, but it's good to know what kind of angles you can do. And I guess I'll just stop the video right there. That's I think that shows enough. Kind of what can be done with structural frame blocks and your maximum smoothness or curve radius and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyway, I'm going to try to do more videos in the future where I'm playing around with ideas, just weird ideas like, can you do this? Can you pull this off? What's going on with this? And I think it'd just be interesting, hopefully, for other builders and things like that. It's interesting to myself because I care about all the geometry and this kind of thing, and just to see, you know, what you can and cannot get away with in this game. And of course, like one easy thing to do on this shape, I think, would be though to indent the center. That I believe you could, or maybe not too. I'll save that for some other time, maybe. I don't know. But now I'm too darn curious, man. I just can't stop. What could be done in here if we wanted to make this indented? Let's say a half block. Is that a possible thing? It's a 3-to-1 ratio, so I'd have to use structural frame blocks to be able to pull that off. But it looks like there is a block that fits in there. Oh, there is. Look at that. Oh, wait. This isn't a 3-to-1 ratio anymore, is it? Or it is. I think that is. Look at. Or. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, I don't think that is. And then we couldn't put in a block in the center to make it work either. So yeah, I think that's another filled thing there. If I wanted to indent it in a half block, I think the only way to do that would be this kind of a little bit jiggy line going through here. That isn't quite right. But maybe there is a way. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. I'm going to next update. I'll probably try to show you more work done to the current Imperial CV that I've been working on. And other than that, tomorrow another look at the workshop, see what's out there. So you all have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later.